And finally, my number one sacred cow to bash. Number one, oh God, how I hate this woman's music, Kate Bush.
Okay.
I will acknowledge that Hounds of Love is a good album from 1985. That's a good record. I mean, Running Up That Hill is a good pop song. Okay. All her indulgent tendencies from her early work were pared down. It's a good production, considering it's the mid 1980s. It's a solid record. It's been a bit influential, but here's the thing. This is the case. Kate Bush is one of those cases where the influencees are better than the influencers. For example, Tori Amos, Florence and the Machine, particularly the early Florence and the Machine work, and artists of that ilk. I would take them over anything Kate Bush ever did.
Agreed.
Yeah, clearly influenced by Kate Bush, but Tori Amos, for example, is a much better singer, much better songwriter, much better musician. Okay. And when I'm talking about Kate Bush, I'm talking about her early work, really. Her early work was marked by overly theatrical histrionics, not just her stage show, which was basically a Broadway musical with multiple costume changes and her dancing in different costumes and doing different personas and acting like an unbearable twit. Okay. But the histrionics were in the recordings themselves. And the histrionics came in the form of the most unbearably badly overused falsetto in the history of pop rock. Like, Wuthering Heights, her first big hit, is actually a pretty decent song that's ruined by her vocals, And you combine that with the schlock, weepy ballad songwriting that basically covered her first four albums. This weepy, mopey ballad, piano ballad crap. It just lacked emotional punch and any real depth. Before Hounds of Love, she had The Dreaming in 1982, which was her supposed transitional record. And while it is bold in its attempt to shed her pop audience, that album goes overboard with all this dissonant, awkward vocal phrasings, even more so than usual, and the overall artsy fartsy flim flam of the production and just the silly, just overly artsy music that just doesn't really connect on any emotional level. And then after Hounds of Love, the records that she made just have dated very badly, and they sound very much of their time. The Sensual World from 1989 sounds like a big booming drum track album from the 80s. The Red Shoes from 1993 sounds like an early 90s overly processed pop record. And after that, like, why would you want to listen to anything from Kate Bush after that? So yeah.
Yeah, tell us how you really feel. Yeah. That's the thing. Kate Bush. I mean, this is something that'll come up on my list. But when the best thing you've ever done is on somebody else's record,
what was the song you did on Peter Gabriel's record?
Don't Give Up.
Yes.
Tremendous song. Great vocal by Kate Bush. But yeah, Kate Bush bores the shit out of me too. But I didn't care quite enough to put her on my list. So
I did.
Good job, Arturo, for telling us how you